there we go. Okay, that is us back down, descending into Avernus. Good evening, all. Welcome back to Hell. The Hells, all of them. Although we're only dealing with the first one. Surface level Hell problems. Right up here in Avernus. Let us get you caught up with what is going on. Last time, okay, having travelled via the Arch of Uloch, singular, to Christia's Moor, you flew down into the depths of the volcanic chasm, following the plaintive wails of the captured demon lord, feeling very sorry for himself. Destroying the fiendish guards, you freed him from his chains, and vowing vengeance against Zariel, he flew off as a fluffy little cloud. After climbing out and having a good laugh about a unicorn's name, it was decided to head to the pit of Sarlakia for a long rest. And we find ourselves speeding across the hot, hot sands of Avernus. So, as we are traveling between these two spots, we already rolled for it, and your navigation was okay. You managed to be heading in the right direction, which is more of a force of will than adeptitude at navigation with the map. Speaking of the map, let's put you on that map, shall we? Zoop.
Well, there we are. I'm looking around. Where are we? I cannot find us.
Top right. Okay, so while that is trying to resolve itself, come on, roll 20, you can do it. You got this. Oh, there we go. Focus. Okay, so you are barreling across the top of the map as it is. I think I've realised we've been relying on this map very much as like a physical representation of where we are. Way too much. This is a very, 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 very rough estimate of, just things that exist in Avernus. And I think just, heading out. I think the plane of existence in itself recognizes your will to arrive somewhere, and then decides whether to fuck with you or not. So. I think. I mean, there's been a number of times like when you drove from Bell's Forge. You were over here at Bell's Forge, and you drove round. We went across the top of this lake of fire via the Hell Wasp nests, circled round past the Tower of Urim, down to the Demon Zapper. I don't think that's how it works. I was thinking about it, when I was rewatching the episode. It was like you travelled from Bell's Forge to the Demon Zapper. And that went through various places, and you didn't end up in those other places because you navigated well. Okay, this is just the cartographer trying to put some semblance of design and sense on this nonsensical hellscape, which is why he went mad and is now haunting the map. So his choice.
To our benefit.
Well, I mean, yes, you do enjoy his mad ramblings. That's good to know. So, let me zoom in a bit more here on this beautiful map. So yeah, you are traveling across, okay, and is there anything you would like to talk about on the way? So you're kind of weaving through these big, jagged, outcrops of black basalt, and there's like vents of steam and gouts of fire, and the occasional fireball coming down from the sky that you have to kind of jank around when you're stirring there, Horvin and Lincoln down on the Devil's Ride that he's riding on. Unfortunately, no Emma today, although hopefully getting to listen in when she can. And you were, you're just going away there, and you're just going through this hellscape here, and you're going plowing up these dunes of just bones and the just the refuse of the endless blood war that is raging around these parts all the time. So, any chit chat while we're going through that? You three are on the same. This is the tour bus group here. You three are on the same vehicle, and you can shout to each other and communicate, but we don't need to RP that too truly.
Wow, we used to find places so easily before. I don't know what happened.
Well, I do my best. This is definitely a strange plane of existence, but I think, thank gods we have this map. Paramount, what, do you know this fellow that we're going to see, Arkin? Do you know anything about this guy?
Don't know a damn thing.
He doesn't know anything.
I know, I was just saying.
I know I'm gonna kill him.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, that's a definitive.
I like to imagine, like, Tarina's knitting in the corner, and Corvin's just driving, and we're talking to Firemaw like how you would talk to a teenage son, like, oh, that's nice, good. Because we know he's forgotten everything. Has anyone told you... Sorry.
He's about that surly, that's all I was going to say.
So, has anyone tried to explain to you what we're doing down here, and how long we've been down here, and how we met?
No.
Did you know you knew a pirate?
No, I don't care.
Well, it all started, and Stephanie starts, or not Stephanie, Tarina starts telling the story.
Okay, so yeah, as you're traveling through the hellscape, you regale Firemaw with all of the pit's exploits to this point.
And he said Humblewood didn't exist, and it does exist. And then...
It sounds like Humblewood doesn't exist.
Careful, you're in the heart of darkness here. You got surrounded by
Don't
humble
make me
folk.
pull over this tour bus.
Now we're in a real mom-dad situation.
I'll show you humble, my boy. Okay, so yes, you you relay the exploits and your adventures to date, trying to remind Firemaw after he had his memory messed with by this orb of dragonkind that you got from the hilt of the sword of a planetar? Wasn't it? It was a planetar, no less. Now, muted steps.
No, I whispered to myself, I wasn't there for that one. Our regaled leader.
True. So, as you are going along, you can see off to your left the river Styx winding its way through the plain endlessly as it does before finding its way somewhere, somehow down through the layers of hell towards the lowest of the lows himself. And ahead of you, you see what for us as players, with our pop culture knowledge, can only be the pit of Sarlakia. You see these strange snake-like tendrils thrusting up from the sands and bones of the plains of Avernus, like so many of those little white dudes in Aquamarine here in the aquarium. You know, they pop up from the sands. What are those little dudes called? Those little white
They're like
sandworms.
Eels, worms?
You alright?
They are eels, yeah.
And you are driving towards them, and you can see, as you can see on the map there, you start to see where the sand and bones and just the various detritus that makes up the ground that you're driving over there must have been a truly huge battle here, as the ground itself is stained red, as with blood and ichor and waters of the Styx where the demons came bursting forth. And you can see this discoloration on the sands here as you come driving over, and you see. Don't worry. With plenty of time and with plenty of vantage point from your high vantage point on top of the tour bus, Torvin, you do see this large, gaping hole in the floor of Avernus itself, with these, like I say, these weird tendrils coming up. How close would you like to get?
Not.
As we're passing the demon ichor, I'm definitely going to be like, oh, and you don't like that stuff. You used to be blue, and then.
Yes, Firemore had a run-in with some demon ichor and had a bit of a colour change. Okay, so yeah, you pull up way out of reach, and these tendrils are kind of moving around slightly menacingly, as if you think maybe they could be on the prowl for anything straying too nearby. Now, as you pull up and you're looking at this thing, you do see these kind of jagged teeth lining the circumference of this hole, and you see inside there's kind of like a fleshy wall of something's throat that is lurking beneath the sands and the surface of Avernus here. Whether it's one of the locals, a devil of some kind, some devilish creation. Horvin, you've read about one of the top devils in the lower levels, Mephistopheles. He's all about arcane research and trying out new things and coming up with all kinds of doodads and random, just like experiments and weird shit. And so that is this one of his? You're not sure what's going on. Now, as you're all stopped there and looking at this phenomenon, keeping a safe distance and probably starting to get ready for a night's rest, you hear strange sound coming from over a bunch of dunes to the side of where you're parked up here. And because I had to do this, hoving into view comes Monsieur Blériot on the escapade. Had you forgotten?
Ah, I remember. You guys helped us out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is
The cat Gigi.
That's right. Okay. So yeah, this craft comes cresting up over, and it skims across the surface of the top layer of hell. Hovering up above. You've never seen the like. Just this amazing contraption he's got, as this thing just comes across the sands and bones here, somehow suspending itself up above. And you can see again, as you saw before, the plate underneath it, moving independently of the hull around the sides and angling itself. And you see it angles down, so like the rear end of it is closer, and it slows down. And once again, when the first time you saw this craft that came to your aid as you plummeted from the skies, as you tried to escape Elturel, tried to leave Elturel, and you see up on the balustrade, again, as you did that first time, a small, black, furry figure, as Gigi regards you all in that way that only a cat can. With a raised eyebrow. It's like, you lot again. And they recognize the war machines. They were there at Mad Maggie's when you got these war machines, so they know about those. And you see, as the craft, the escapade comes in beside you, you hear in your minds as the cat calls to you, "Mes amis! I'm so glad to see you again. Just a moment. Let me pack up. I have some dead weight I need to get rid of first." And you see him carry on past you and over the pits of Salakia, hovering up above, out of the reach of those weird tentacles. And you see you made the right choice as he gets closer and those things start to writhe and like grasp towards the craft, trying to catch it and pull it down into that hungry maw. You see him, you see the craft hover over the pit, and then you see those diminutive dwarven-looking, kind of but very pale-skinned, white-eyed dwarven-looking crew members that you'd met before, bustling around and like just swarming around on deck like so many busy ants. And you see them open up a hatch on the side. It just like opens up, very very janky, kind of like 1970s film effects kind of janky, and 1980s I guess at that point. And it kind of props open, and you see them start to push out. You see them start to push out figures. Weird, spindly, spiny, long-limbed, various colors, skin and things, but this is some kind of monstrosity or some kind of creature, and they're limply just falling out of this hatch as they're shoved over the edge by these little kind of dwarven-looking crew members, and they're just like falling down. And every time one of them goes into it, the pit kind of undulates. It's like, oh, I'm eating you.
No, like late 20s guys with small rods that light up.
No, there isn't, and there's no little rotund, like half-size warforged roaring around either.
Okay.
There's no shiny golden warforged either. You did not just say that went over your head. Come on, girl.
It did a little bit.
Original trilogy Star Wars.
I'm sick. Oh, yes.
Oh,
Well,
I haven't
also
seen any of the originals in like 20 years.
yeah. And then
also there's that new artificer class, right? The one with the full suit of armor. That
Yes.
maybe they got one of those.
maybe.
Uh,
Green.
Feto something? I don't know. Fetius?
Boba.
Bubba Fetius.
But for some reason, Gigi does laugh like Jabba's little pet.
Ooh.
No, like the little pet that.
Oh, right. All right.
Sorry, silliness.
Now that we've had our fun.
Yes. So they finish. They push the last of these figures over into the pits of Salakia, and the ship once more shifts its deck on the lower deck, and it around, and it comes over and pulls up next to you, and you see the rope ladders go down the sides, and Gigi's looking down at you just impassively, but you hear that voice again. He's like, "Come on board, mes amis, please. I have refreshments."
That
See?
sounds nice.
Here's the cat we met. So we met this cat when we were leaving the floating island town that we came down here for as we're climbing up the ladder.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you'll like climb your way up the ladder and swing yourselves up onto the deck, and you see those like videos of those like massive, ridiculous luxury yachts. They have like that little kind of deck area at the back with like the horseshoe of sofas around. Like at the back of this, he's got one of those, and you do see Blériot. There's like clang as the hatch flings open, and Louis Blériot, the innovative aerospace designer of Avernus, clambers up onto deck. He's like, my friends, it is always nice to say hello face to face and not through the little cat. Gigi just like walks off indignantly.
Oh, I like the cat.
It's a nice touch.
He has his uses. Please, have a seat. I have some water.
Oh.
I throw myself on the couch and I get stuck.
Yes, for people watching, she's a hedge, which is like a giant hedgehog. Sorry, I don't have.
We can
try
mend
it.
that.
So just when you try and leave, you just have the sofa cushions on your back. Oh, sorry about that.
Perfect.
Okay, so you'll catch seats, Isaac. So, how have you been faring, my friends? Successes all around?
Well, we're all still here, and I'm gonna look at Lincoln and kind of be like,
Yeah, whatever.
appropriate.
Oh, I forgot to clip my Lincoln impression and send it to Emma. Damn it. This is up from last time. Okay, so he's like, well, I'm just glad you have not succumbed to the evils of this terrible place.
Not yet.
Shifty eyes. Signed my name here and there, a few places.
We don't need to talk about that. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, what can I say? I have some of my crew back at Fort Knucklebone, constructing the next one of these magnificent craft, and I tell you, she's a tough nut to crack, but I think Mad Maggie likes me.
As much as she can like anyone.
Well,
Tough
yes,
and nut are correct.
she is happiest when I am sad. But I am happy to please, which stops me being sad, which means I have to get sad. It's complicated.
That sounds par for the course.
Yes. So, where are you headed?
We are actually headed for Arkan's Tower.
Do you have that map you had before? I'm afraid we are a little bit lost.
I sure do.
Yes, we were trying to do a test flight and test out some new parameters. That's why I burnt out some of my fuel cells. I had to dump them. And we found this pit, so we thought we'd dump it here.
Oh, those were fuel cells.
Yes. That's
Understood.
not what they call themselves, but
I'm gonna think about being sad about that and decide not to.
I have to go take some notes.
Too many things.
Terina, do not worry, my little friend. No, they are horrible monsters.
But everything here is a horrible monster.
Hey. So, no. You see, I never had chance to sit down and chat with you like I did with Maggie, but I get to call her just Maggie. No, the thing is, I have made a breakthrough in technology where I have found a demon that is so terrified of falling to the plains of Avernus that if bound on the bottom of the ship, face down, looking at the plains, their sheer will and terror of not wanting to touch the sands buoys up the ship and makes it fly. C'est magnifique.
Oh. Just full of them.
Well, that's fucking weird.
It takes about 30 of the little buggers.
How long? What if? Okay, that sounds awesome.
It works. Technology!
Right. Well, was Maggie happy to hear of your exciting
Oh, she loves it.
story?
Yes, it took quite a lot of time to get her out of the flight deck, the engine room, if you will. She was drinking up their terror.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say, as John here, I in case the accent didn't give it away, I cannot take full credit for this. This is from the mind of Terry Pratchett. There is one of the Terry Pratchett books where they go to some far-off kingdom and they're talking about they have these aqua discs, and they have these like large copper discs, and then around the circumference of that they have these aquaphobic wizards strapped down with just their heads poking off the edge, and they're all so terrified of touching the water that the discs fly over the water. So I'm borrowing that
I
concept.
remember you specifically telling me about that
Oh, Terry.
forever ago.
Yeah. Miss that man. Okay, so and so yeah, you sit there and you're kind of chatting and stuff. Now, as I mentioned, he does bring out a carafe of pure water. And he looks over to Gigi. He's like, "Hey, Gigi, who was that fella you found in the Wandering Emporium that you got this water off? What was his name? Evan? Evian? What was his name? I can't remember. This is the water of Evian. He was a lovely fella.
I've heard of this fellow.
He does a roaring trade, transports it down from the material plane. Although, I think he might be going down to Stygia, the frozen lands of Levistus, melting some of that ice and selling it on as material plane water. That's what I would do. It's closer.
Yeah, I always thought the same thing.
But,
That's what anyone here would do.
And he puts these glasses on the table, and he pours from the carafe just crystal clear, perfect water. And because for some reason today I'm getting as many pop reference things in here as I can, as he finishes pouring, you go to pick up your glasses of water to have a nice cheer and drink it back. But as you go to pick up the glasses, just before you catch hold of them, you see a ripple on the surface of the water.
Firema looks off into the distance.
But we're flying.
Doesn't matter.
And then Rario's like, "Oh, how queer. I wonder if there's some malfunction with the fuel cells. I might have to dump a few more. Just a moment, please." And he goes off down and lets himself, "Gigi, with me."
I want to be like, "Oh no, don't." And I'm like, "I'm just gonna," and I drink my water.
And yeah, like Horvin, your curious mind, you're still looking at your glass there, and it's like just a circular ripple.
What could it be? And I'm gonna turn away from the table and try to look, like, run to the nearest like railing or window that I can get to.
Well, you're on the deck still, so you just go to the just go to the railing on the side, yeah. And you start to feel it in the railing as well. And like Serena said, you're flying. So this must be something that's vibrating the air itself. And you do see a dune off to the side of you. There's like there's a bunch of bones and stuff are dislodged and they go tumbling down. And you actually see a slight slide of detritus and bones and sand go into the pit of Sarlakia. And there's like a the whatever beast is down there does not like getting the mouthful of that. And then it starts to quicken the frequency of these vibrations. And the last time you heard a sound like that was when you were confronted by Harriman on that steed. It sounds like a galloping creature, that kind of gait, that rolling sound. But this vibration in the air and in the ground around you, you see the sands around you do start to shake and quite markedly. And then you see.
Drink your water before sand gets in it.
Everyone just downs it, and it's delicious and cool, which is the first cool thing you've had for it ever since you arrived here. But Horvin, you see it as you first, and it's a bizarre sight. You see a triangular kind of thing just come jutting up over distant dunes, and like outcrops of rock and things, and then you see that triangular thing appears to be a rooftop on a tower, as this thing it emerges from behind the obstructing scenery. And then another tower over there, and off to the side, another tower clearly connected underneath where I'm still out of sight. And you see this large, hulking structure, bristling with towers and rooms and parapets and little rooms off built on the side, higgledy-piggledy all over the place, rise up. But it rises up quite smoothly, which surprises you because you see beneath this this structure is this creature that kind of like Nekobus style is just bounding across the scenery. It's just like, and this thing is just jumping from dune to dune, but through some kind of magics or technology, the structure on its back is fairly smooth. It's just moving along smoothly, like cushioned on its back, as this creature beneath it is just charging rapidly across the surface of the hells here.
What was in this water?
This is insane.
As this thing comes charging towards you.
And we're gonna need a bigger airship.
Haha. Get them all in here, all of them. Oh dear.
Okay.
Okay, indeed. Now, sorry, I don't have a very clean image of this. Let's see if I can sort this up a little bit here. I'll keep that in, that's fine. Okay, so let me show you.
Go us.
Quickly sorting. Okay. So, I'm just going to load into Roll20 here so I can show you. Okay, so yeah, this weird creature is like quite fuzzy looking. It's got this large gaping maw across its face, lit from within like magma, like a lava flow, and these two eyes glowing with a similar light. And it just looks gleeful as it's just bounding across the surface here, just the joy of just running. And you actually see there are some spine devils like flying alongside it, trying to attack it almost. And as you do, you see them kind of jerk in the air as it looks like something like a spear kind of thing, like a javelin or kind of harpoon thing has been thrown from the beast, like from its hide. And you see this large javelin barbed end jutting through this devil and starts being pulled in towards the beast by something riding it seems, amongst its fur and scales. And it has these two giant horns off to the side, like a steer's. And yeah, you see this good boy come bounding across.
What a good boy! What a good boy!
Okay, so this fella comes just and then it sees the ship that you're all in, and your war machine's parked up next to it, and it just like digs those two front big clawed feet into the bones and sands and just whoosh, and stops. And you see again, as you'd seen with the ship you're currently on, a rope ladder unfurl from the doorway on this structure on its back and just dangle there as the creature just stops there. It's just like looking around.
Oh, this is
Oh
unexpected.
my god, look at him! Hello, sweet boy!
Someone descending from the rope?
Nope. It's just hanging there.
Well, that looks like an invitation if I've ever seen one.
Well, shouldn't we let our captain know?
I'm...
Leave a
absolutely-
note.
I drew
Goodbye.
a note.
This seems way more interesting.
Later. Yeah, I toddle over for sure. I ascend.
Yeah. I'm gonna draw, like, I'm gonna scratch out a quick drawing of this thing and leave it with the note on the table.
Yep.
And then climb the rope.
Okay, so you're gonna climb down from the ship and over to this one.
Yeah.
Okay, doke. Let me find my correct spots here. Where are you? Okay. So yeah. Yeah, you see. Let's see here. Yeah, you see this gargantuan creature. It's very quick and limber. It flexes and pulls its massive body like a nimble rodent, despite its titanic size. There's this huge infernal war machine perched atop its back, supporting towers and spires reminiscent of a palatial manor home. And even as it clambers over the mounds of the dunes towards the pits of Salakia, the machine on its back, as I said, remains perpetually level, undisturbed by the creature's massive strides and bounds. And you see these, as I said, these flying devils got too close, and they were skewered with tridents attached to chains and reeled in by these small creatures clinging to the monstrosity's charred hide. Now, as it sees all of you, as I said, it stops in its tracks, and after a moment, the rope ladder is unfurled, and the infernal war machine's door is open. And yes, you're gonna walk your way over there.
Yeah, let's see what's inside.
Okay. So yeah, you walk on over, and hanging on the bottom of the rope ladder is a steel plaque with an invitation written on it. And it says, in Common and Infernal, "Welcome to Margarin's magnificent travelling inn. Mind your manners. You'll not be told again."
Easy enough.
I am elated. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Okay. So you're gonna start clambering up.
Yes.
Okay.
I have cushions still stuck to me.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, you make your way up the ladder. Yeah, that's slightly awkward, it's a rope ladder. Slightly awkward climb, but you manage it no problem. And you make your way up towards this war machine on top, and in through the dark doorway. Now, just do this. As you duck inside, the sound of voices, quite a few voices, greets you, as it seems there are already customers at this wonderful inn that is galloping around the plain of Avernus. Now, excuse me. Let's see here. Yeah, the inside of this piecemeal infernal machine is quite spacious. In the main kind of chamber of the inn itself, there's room for about 10 people to mingle and just like hang out, and there's kind of cushions and chairs dotted around the room, and then you can see that there are doors leading off this main room, which you think might be to chambers, other sleeping quarters maybe. Now, Horvin, your breath kind of catches, and your beak kind of clatters a bit in agitation as you make your way inside here, and you see just book after book after book after book after book crammed onto every horizontal surface, in nooks and crannies, on windowsills, shelves up and down the walls, piled up on the countertops. Just thousands and thousands of books.
Make a man cry.
But you're a bird.
50-50. So I won't sob.
Okay.
Just one tear.
One crow tear.
This is
And
amazing.
crows cry.
Wow. Are you okay?
I will be.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna toddle off to the bedrooms and I'm gonna knock on the first door.
Well, as you
and
it's okay. As you come in, there's like I say, there's room for about 10 people to mingle in here. It's not a huge room, but as you make your way into the space, a cowled, jackal-faced character reminds you of the manager back at Bell's. You think this might also be an Arcanoloth of the same ilk as the record label guy.
Edgy.
Eddie, thank you. Is it Eddie? Yeah,
Reggie.
Reggie.
Reggie. There we go. Thank you.
I feel like
Yeah.
we all just redeemed so many times we couldn't remember things.
I think we
So-
fucking forgot Reggie, dude.
Yes, you think this is a similar creature as you see this, what you assume is the owner of this establishment. And they come over kind of like with their hands clasped in front of them, and they're making their way towards you. And let me see. Come here. Okay. Let me grab this as well. Sorry, I've been so busy. I don't have all these bits and bobs for you. Excuse
You're
me.
fine.
Oh yeah, that's
No, I was guilty of this last week. I was like rewatching the video from last time to remind myself of what had been going on and stuff. There were so many times I left you guys hanging. I was just like fiddling with stuff. And then you
Well,
guys
you
were
know
like,
what?
Sometimes you gotta fiddle.
filling the dead air. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Orphan, what are you gonna read first? That one. Do that one. It's purple.
ooh, that does sound attractive. I think I might have to ask whoever they belong to first, though.
This is an inn. I bet you can trade and read. I bet if you leave a book, you can take a book.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Irma, what will you read?
Orvin kind of snickers at the thought.
I'm internally just like guffawing. Like Irma doesn't read.
This is about the most disappointing this could have been.
Here we go.
I'm sure there's something tactical in here that you can benefit from.
Boom. Hello.
Corbin says, disgusted.
Whoa.
Ooh.
He
He looks like Shredder.
Yes.
Like
no,
Shredder meets
not Splinter.
Splinter.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I know exactly what you meant. That's just, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this figure is coming over. This grin on its jackal-like face as it welcomes you, and this is the Margrin the Magnificent that gives their name to the establishment. And she goes, welcome, welcome. Welcome to my inn. What are you looking for? Sustenance? Drinks? A place to stay?
We can use a place to stay for one evening? A few hours?
We'll see. You're 3 for 3 from me, Margaret.
I'm glad that you are interested in our space we have here. Now,
It is an oasis.
speaking of interest, and the head kind of cocks to one side. You, if I am not very much mistaken, you two are humble folk, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Oh no.
Fascinating. We must talk. We must talk more. You will tell me all that you remember, and I will regale you with the stories of the things I have seen.
In Humblewood?
My travels take me much further afield. I can regale you with my stories of dining with demigods, rubbing elbows with dukes and duchesses, being the fulcrum of change that spins the multiverse in a new direction. I have witnessed and recorded pacts that doomed thousands of mortal souls. I have watched armies of Yugoloths hold a breach to the far realm itself. And I am very much interested in talking with you. And maybe finding out a little more about this blasted architect and his meddlings.
Where did you get your dog?
My dog?
She lists all these amazing things, and I just want to know.
The
Ah? You mean Krita?
His name is Critter. Firema. His name is Critter.
I think that's exactly what she means.
Yes. Isn't he magnificent?
He's so magnificent.
Can you believe he was just a regular infernal nipper? And now look at him. He's
How
getting...
big was he?
He was about this size. Size of a pig.
You lie.
No. This is the extent of my magnificence. The magics I have wrought to make him bigger, faster, stronger. And I'm not finished yet. You can't.
Well-
He's not for sale.
Well, I don't have enough coin for him.
I think
No, you do
trading some stories about Humblewood sounds more than fair.
I can find other sources, if that is the price you demand. Now, come. It is nearly time for the evening meal. Or, what is it? What is it that Braun calls it? And she's like, Braun, how's that evening meal coming? And you see a massive figure. A huge, well-defined, muscular, lightly oiled torso with crimson robes draped around the slim waist as this large I'm trying to remember what they were. This giant
ship,
yeah, it's a
ship.
this large Goliath ducks through a doorway not made for them in any way whatsoever, from what must be the kitchen area. And he's like, all right, everybody. How are we feeling today? Have we had a good workout? You've been working hard? You've been doing some killing? You've been doing some cardio? I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Well,
Braum, was it?
Braun. Yes, the name's Braun.
Braun.
I'm the cook
Yes.
here. And I'm about
This-
ready cooking up tonight's bulk up. Are you ready for the bulk up? Yeah. Are you ready? Come on, I can't hear you. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Let's bulk up.
Have you met Firemaw?
They look over at you, Firemore, and there's this big smile. There's someone who appreciates the rewards of a good workout and a full meal. And he comes over. They come over and they do the full, forearm to forearm, Arnie handshake, and they're like, "Are you ready to bulk up?"
I'm ready to bulk up.
Yeah. Woo! And they go off. They go back off into the kitchen.
He seemed nice. I'm gonna say, looking at Firemaw, knowing that he has no idea what I'm talking about anymore.
I mean, sure. I guess.
Okay. So the the Arcanoloth comes around again, and Margarine, as they introduce themselves, Margarine comes around again and is like, "Yes, well, for the evening meal. Oh, indeed, for all of our meals here, it is 8 gold pieces. Am I correct in thinking you are adventurous? Do you have
You hit the nail on the head.
coinage from the material plane that you would like to use? Of course, we accept soul coins too."
Everyone check their material plane
Oh yes, I have.
coinage.
I have enough.
Yes, we'd love a meal.
Splendid.
Barely have, I barely have enough.
That is 32 gold, please. Although
I'm gonna cover Firemaw.
they lean back. She leans back and she looks at Tarina and Lincoln. She's like, actually, no, that's not fair on Tarina. No, she looks at Horvin and Lincoln. She's like, maybe you can share. Or if you would like to partake of the full culinary experience, then of course.
Absolutely. In for a penny.
In for a penny, in for 32 gold, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, so take that off whoever's paying. And she takes that. She's like, splendid, and she kind of disappears into some pouch in the folds of her robe.
I cover you, Firemaw.
Thank you.
Okay. You not got any winnings left?
I have
What
a lot.
winning?
Because I only got 2 soul coins forever ago. So I actually have a lot. Because I have not been spending any money ever.
Yeah.
There's no
I
expense.
I bought the armor and then I liquidated all of my gold into soul coins.
I see. Okay, right. So, you are gestured towards a table for the 4 of you there, and you look around. You see there are some very interesting folk in here. There's about five other people, so it's pretty much getting to capacity already. This is not a large establishment. and you see what looks like some kind of fey creature. It reminds you of Smiler a little, but much more composed and less manic. And they have this big whoosh of almost leaf green, almost lime green hair, and these long elongated ears extending from it, and this big elaborate cloak on, and they're like perusing the shelves, and they seem to find what they're looking for, and they pull a large dark red leather covered book and sit themselves back down and start to leaf through it as they're sipping from something.
Seeing Horvin peering at this book, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's the one you should have read first.
Ah, damn it, Tarina.
And
What the fuck is that?
play nice. And you see also across the way there a Cambion is also sat there. Their little horns protruding from the top of their head, deep ruby skin, their large wings furled behind them, and they're sitting there talking with what looks like a hag. Looks like some kind of hag, and they're just kind of probably a night hag, considering the locale. And they're talking seriously about something. And there's a piece of parchment, kind of leathery-looking parchment between them that they seem to be discussing heatedly, but they're being careful to keep things calm and friendly, as it were.
Contract work.
Yes. Now, as you're sat waiting for your food, they come back. Margarine comes back over, and they're like, now, how about some drinks? Yes?
Yes.
Sounds.
Splendid. Now, what would it be? Alcoholic or otherwise?
Otherwise,
I think I've earned an alcoholic beverage.
I see. Are you,
Something strong.
I see. Well, we have bottles of Avernus. Do you know this one? I bet you haven't tasted the like before. It is whiskey, a rare vintage distilled in the citadel of ice and steel on the elemental plane of air. Genasi travelers, using the vast resources of the Jinn to collect the ingredients from across the multiverse for the distillation process. A single still used in the production of this perfected vintage costs as much as an entire castle. Each cask is tended for 12 years by a single artisan whose entire job is to ensure its quality.
Well, that sounds terrible.
I'm going to step on his toe.
For the artisan? It sounds rather expensive. But
A bottle,
very nice.
a bottle is 41 gold. Or if you're looking for something a little cheaper, and they look a little disappointed, we have wine as well. 29 gold will buy you, not a bottle I'm afraid, but a glass of Suru Enya. It is an elvish blue wine.
I guess it's water.
I'm
You
sorry?
know what? Bring us a bottle.
Of the whiskey?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you earned it.
I suppose this one will just have Red's wine. It is the epitome of drinkable. It impresses no one. It does the job.
Oh no, he's shared our burden. He can share the bottle.
Very well. And they go off behind the counter and they reach up, and there's a case behind the counter, and it just looked like an area of shadow that you hadn't really seen properly before. and they just reach through, and it's just this kind of strange ripple goes out as they put their hand into this shadow, and they come back out, and there is this bottle, dusty, and looking like a good vintage bottle, and very kind of aging label on it, and she brings it over, and she's like, here you are, and she pours out 4 glasses for you.
Thank you very much.
And as you waft it around in the glass and get a whiff of it, there's a sense of oak and allspice and char mixed with that kind of caramel and vanilla. And as you taste it, you get similar notes from the taste of it as well, and it has a long, warm, immaculate finish. It's very, very good.
Well, I'm happy you got this, Warvin. Toasty.
I thought it would be nice.
And
You say thank you. I whisper across the table at Firemaw.
He hasn't drank it yet. He's just looking at it.
Take your time. I don't know much about whiskey, but I don't think it's supposed to be drank fast, so...
I was going to say, if anything's going to make him down it in one, it's going to be that.
So there.
Ha! Okay, so you
It's all right.
don't have to wait too long until the bulk up is ready, and the first platters are brought out. You get a double serving of steamed broccoli served over rice, with 3 pan-fried crab cakes drizzled with a pepper relish. And Braun comes out. Here you go. This'll get the stomachs lined and ready for the proper meal to come. This huge Goliath just delicately places these plates on the table. And they're quite unique for a Goliath, because usually the Goliaths always have the tribal tattoos of whichever tribes they're associated with. But this Braun figure is immaculate, just smooth, pale skin.
I'm so hungry. As if I have just realized that I have not eaten in like 2 days.
It has been a while.
This rivals, if not maybe even surpasses, dare I say it.
Don't say. Don't you say. That's rude to say that.
The Wandering Emporium.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
All
fine.
All right.
I thought you were gonna say my feast. And I was like, yo, you changed that description, so I don't want to hear it.
No. Yes, you're all sat around here, and the food is delicious as well. The ingredients have clearly been brought in from extraplanar sources.
This is so good. Do you feel bulky, Firemaw?
I always feel bulky.
Mm. Do you feel bulky?
Well, considering my bones are rather hollow, I suppose it's the bulkiest I've felt in a long time.
There's a whoosh.
Really?
There's a whoosh, and Horvin, you're slapped on the back with a giant Goliath hand. And he's like, you won't feel hollow for much longer. Okay, here's round 2. Go on, guys, you've got this. All the way to the finish. And these plates, the second round of plates, are plunked down in front of you. And these plates each plate carries 3 baked potatoes with grilled leek and broiled asparagus on top, and a 2-pound grilled redfish on the side.
Wow.
It's a lot of food.
How are we feeling, guys? We good? Okay, we're halfway there. Woo!
That's what he meant when he said you and Lincoln could share.
We're in.
I'm gonna be like, I feel incredibly bulky. I'm gonna reach behind and be like, can someone get this off?
Yes.
No one's even questioned me.
Sorry, Tarina.
Not
There's
this
weirder
place.
stuff here. There's weirder stuff here.
To be fair.
You could have used it as camouflage if we got to like a palace or something. I don't know. Moving couch, not that suspicious here.
Spiky moving demon couch. I'm tickled by the idea, and I eat a whole baked potato.
Nice.
A fire rockets.
Now, as you're getting into the second course, okay, and enjoying this food immensely, there's a once again for the second time, you feel that kind of vibration in the table and your drinks, in the whiskey and the glasses, and there's like a clump, 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 and you see this giant, for the player's sake, hippo in a full naval uniform just comes clumping in. Now, in the D&D universe, these are called GIF.
What?
Okay, and giant hippo people basically. It just comes in. And you see, he's also got a monocle in, and kind of like a handlebar
course.
moustache on the end of
Of
his
course.
hippo nose. And he comes clumping in, and he's like, Margaret, splendid. Nothing to report. We've repelled borders. A few of those pesky devils came round. We showed them what for. And, yes, everything's back to normal. Tip-top. Ha ha. And just tromps out the other side.
I have a fish like half out of my mouth, like.
Yes. And
Well, that was weird.
Margarine kind of sees you looking over, and she smiles and she's like, "Don't mind, Admiral Strump. He's our chief of security. He's a security consultant. But in wins Strump.
Thank God he is.
Yes. He's just away from his fleet at the moment on a sabbatical."
There's a fleet of mustache monocled hippo people.
Oh, the GIF. Yes, they ply the phlogiston between the various spheres of existence. Have you ever been to Greyhawk? Have you been to Earth? No? Have you been to Eberron? Of course, nobody can get in, but you can do the flyby and enjoy the view. Never mind, doesn't matter.
I've eaten all my potatoes and I'm like, bring me the bulk!
Yeah, you just hear Braun in the kitchen just like, yeah! I knew you had it, you little hedge. All right. And you hear this, you hear the clank of plates as things as the next course is hurriedly put together, and Braun comes out once more, and then on this one, it's just a big shared platter for you all to use, and it's just a massive bowl of poultry broth with rice flour dumplings, tender spinach, and 1 pound of spicy shredded chicken all inside it, and then little bowls for you to separate it between you. There you
My
go.
God.
That'll wash the pipes clean for the last course.
I picture Lincoln taking one bite of everything and pouting and like letting soup dribble down his chin. He's like, I don't even care.
Braun kind of like punches you in the shoulder. Firemore is like, is that coating the stomach nicely?
It's doing well enough.
Ready for a big day tomorrow?
It's gonna be a great day tomorrow.
Ooh. Walk back off to the kitchen. Like,
like
really
it.
sold it.
thank you.
Took it home.
Like marine, like hooah.
I almost went that far. I edited it myself slightly. My grin's just kind of like indulgently shaking their head. And if there's nothing else you'd like to do or anything, we can move on to the final course.
Bring it.
Let's do it.
Okay, you're all flagging. Actually, I think I need some Constitution saving throws.
Ah.
Let's see how well we're doing.
Farina's actual Constitution saving throw is not that great.
I mean, I
I'm
always
gonna be
fail. I
really
always
sad
fail
if
my
I-
con saves. So
I'm gonna be real sad if I talk a big game and then I fuck it all up. Yeah, it's like
How'd you go?
13!
no, 25.
No.
16.
So what was yours, Horvin?
16.
Okay. So yeah, you're all Trini, you're flagging a little bit, but you're doing okay. You're doing okay.
No, I'm a really strong hedge.
Horvin,
I'm doing really good.
Horvin just like thrusts his beak into the broth bowl and just like grabs a bunch of that spicy chicken and is just like.
I'll roll for Lincoln.
I'm gonna. Where are we at? Da, da, da. Just for Lincoln's sake, I will use the black dice. Moody. Emo dice. Okay. Con save. 7.
Oh no.
So yeah, Lincoln is just picking at it and saying,
More for me, I guess.
yeah, fine. Well, you're just fine. You're just like, oh, no, gimme. It's really good.
You gotta be bulked up when you go to kill Archon. I mean,
Just hear from the kitchen, bulk up. And
Oh
you,
god.
okay, and then yeah, you get through this broth, and you kind of like just far more. You're kind of like pouring the last of the big bowl into your little bowl and doing that there, and then. All right, now, Braun comes out. Are we ready? Are we ready for the real fuel cell, the real powerhouse of the bulk up meal? This is where we're getting our vitamins, people. Okay,
The
we're getting our
mitochondria.
minerals. Okay, here it comes. And they just put down this massive, in front of you is a massive leafy green salad. There's spinach, kale, tomato, roasted yellow peppers, and there's a bowl of white beans boiled with onions and basil on the side.
it's not what I expected.
Hey,
Oh.
we want to sleep and then be ready for tomorrow.
What
Just gonna
happens
freshen you up.
tomorrow?
Nutrients.
Tomorrow is another day. And we're going to meet it head on. All right?
Tomorrow,
You
I
and me,
kill
Hedge.
Archon.
You and me, Hedge.
And I'm gonna take my silverware and at his inspired words, I'm gonna be like, and then start shoveling it in my face.
And Braun goes to like do that big slap on the back like he did with Horvin, and then thinks better of it as they see all the spines.
I just go flying across the room and he's crying over his hand and someone has to clean up the mess. Ah.
For some reason, you just instinct cast primal savagery. Bulk up! So ready. So, you get your minerals and vitamins and everything, and cleanse the palate there at the end of this this meal. Fill in the gaps. And as you're finishing up and just sitting back, just you didn't all eat the same, but you're all equally stuffed, and just like leaning back in the chairs, the warmth, glow of that whiskey, which I mean would be much more appreciated in Icewind Dale, but hey, it's pretty toasty down here. Although it's not too bad inside the inn here in the tap room. And as you do, you're all hanging out there. Excuse me. And Margarin comes over and Braun comes out. He's like, "That's what I like to see. Empty plates, full stomachs, ready for action." And just like clears everything away and like gets it out of the into the kitchen again. And
On my side on the couch, I'm gonna be like, woo.
no dessert.
you and me, Hedge. It's like
Friends forever.
you just hear a crash of dropped plates. This Goliath, angry-looking Goliath head just comes out the kitchen door. Dessert? Sugar?
Oh.
You need some rethinking, my friend. You need to reorder those desires. Disappears back into the kitchen.
Just wanted some ice cream.
Ice cream!
Oh my god.
I got a non-dairy kale ice cream, and you gotta like it. No, so they Magrin comes over once you've all settled for a while and chatted about the various bits and bobs. So, I trust the bell cup was to your liking.
I feel quite.
So.
And she looks at you, Fireman, and she's like, "Don't worry about Braun. They don't believe in calories in the evening, but you should see the breakfast. They call it the starter. It really gets things going."
That sounds like a threat.
Ask me tomorrow. And they spin a chair around from a nearby table and sit down with you, if I may. And they pull out this small, fluted purple glass, and there's a slight mist coming off the top of it, and they just sip at it. Now, as I said, I'd be very much interested to talk with you about the architect. How much you remember, and how much you think you remember.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm not technically from Humblewood.
I am, though.
Perfect. A wider sample size, just what I wanted. And they steeple their fingers on the table and lean in. So, what's the first thing you remember?
Ever?
Sure.
I feel like I'm in a puzzle now. I'm like, wait a second. What am I supposed to figure out? I have the first thing I remember ever.
What's your first memory? Do you have childhood memories?
Yeah. Drinking cactus juice with my sister, and
Interesting.
my mom would take us to the market, and we would get the cactus stink bugs. They smelled bad, but they were really good on bread.
She suddenly leaps forward. What is your mother's name?
Talia.
Interesting. Response time. And you, my friend, Humblewood itself. What do you remember?
I look at Horvin because I don't like this anymore.
Well, we lived on the outside of the town, around the Alderheart. My kind aren't exactly, well liked. But I did okay. I remember having some issues with my, wild magic. As a kid,
Wild magic, you say?
Yes,
You could be useful.
I plucked a classmate.
What was the classmate's name?
What was his name?
Interesting. And you, Firemore, wasn't it?
Yes. I'm not Humblefoot.
I can see that. How many other humble folk have you met?
One other one? Two?
Only one or two. Only one or two.
I turn to Corbin and I accusatorily point at her and I say, she doesn't think we're real.
No,
Uh,
you're clearly real. You just finished the bulk up. Nobody can do that without being real.
fair enough.
In fact, if anything, you're realer now because you ate all of that food.
I apologize. Our previous captain had some contacts in Bitopia.
Bitopia? Ah, you
Yes.
are traveled individuals too.
Oh, well, we never went, but he did. A fellow named Koresh. And he, at some point, convinced himself that Humblewood wasn't real, and that by proxy we were not real.
Oh, I'm sorry. I made a mistake, John. My answer was 0. I've met 0 humble folk.
Oh, right.
Other than these ones,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It's hard to remember all the things you're supposed to have forgotten.
And you and she's fascinated by all of this. She's like, Mytopia. I wonder if that little bastard Arafortan is still running around. Right, okay. Now, all of you. Fascinating. Now, do you... Tell me again, what was it that led you to accuse me of accusing you of not being real?
You're measuring. You asked me my mom's name, and you said the response time like I'd forget who my mom was. I don't know why I have a Boston accent. Like I'd forget who my mom was.
The only reason that we are accusatory at this point is clearly there's some kind of test happening, and our previous captain was a bit addled about our existence.
Apparently somebody they knew didn't think Bitopia was real. Or not Bitopia, Humblewood. It's hard to keep this straight. They just all told me this like an hour ago.
It's hard to make an hour synopsis.
There are several folks in Bitopia that know a great many things. I wonder who your captain talked with. I mean, Bitopia is full of wonders. Take, for example, this flying elephant you're all ignoring.
Lulu.
Hi.
Oh, Lulu, you didn't get to bulk up. I feel genuinely bad.
But what if I bulk up and turn into that woolly mammoth? I'd break this place apart. And
That's true.
He's like, yes, no shape-shifting in the premises, please.
I'm sorry. Are we going back to not ignoring her now?
And Lulu kind of flies under the table, kind of like settles under, and because I think Tarina, I don't think your legs reach the floor.
No.
So
I pat my little Pete's on her little head.
she's got that kind of like slightly like woolly mammoth fur, like she's a little fluffy yellow elephant. So you're just kind of just kneading your toes in her fur.
He's good.
He's good. And she's like, yes. I shall leave you to yourselves and to enjoy the rest of your stay here. But, yes, please, fear not. I would never accuse you of not being real.
But Well, you accuse us of something else.
Well, it's not so much as, are you real? It's like, how long have you been real? Good night.
Listen, we can parse this out any which way. That's fine. I did have one question.
Yes.
Are any of these books off limits?
No, please feel free to peruse them at your leisure.
Thank you very much.
And with that, Horvin left the campaign.
Yeah, goodbye forever. It's over. I'm gone.
But please be cautious. Should the librarians come by, you do not want to get in their way.
Noted.
They come by from time to time just to make sure there's no damage, no late fees.
So you can't trade books.
No, I'm afraid not. The books here, they're on many things, all of the Nine Hells, the Prime Material, the Abyss, Mechanus. They're all stored around here, and all of the sleeping quarters, and she gestures to those doors, the other doors that you can see, around the machine here. They can be checked out, for a fee. There are copies of each, but I'm afraid they cannot leave the premises. Should a book be destroyed or stolen or damaged, then the one responsible must pay the fine.
As a former librarian myself, I can only understand.
Indeed, I'm glad to hear it. Then I know you shall treat them with the respect that they are due.
How much is it to rent out these rooms? Feeling very full and laying back down now that she's been. I was riled up. We're real, and now I'm so full. How much are these rooms?
Well, it depends. Are we continuing to pay in gold, soul coins, or my preferred currency, information?
I don't know what information might interest you, but I prefer to pay in information.
I am something of a scribe. I might have some interesting information.
Really?
He doesn't know anything, and I point to Firemaw because he's forgotten everything. She
I know
doesn't
that-
mean it in offense, but doesn't know anything.
I know some things.
Well, my friends, let us take stock of the value that you have in those little heads of yours. And let's see how much you can pay. I'm all ears.
A demon, Kostitichi, is now free.
A strong
That's a-
start.
Very recent development.
I haven't been by that particular part of Avernus for quite some time. Wasn't he in chains, guarded
Oh.
by infernal guardians?
He was.
I killed the devil that was guarding him.
Good job.
And now I'm going to kill Archon.
I hope you mean a different Archon to the one I know.
The black or the vile, the cruel? I can't remember.
The
That one.
The one I know is Archon the Cruel.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill that one.
I'm sorry. Comedy night was 3 nights ago.
You missed
really-
comedy night.
Really, please don't kill yourself.
I'm not going to. I'm gonna kill him.
Are you aware of what adorns the left arm of that dragonborn from the elbow down?
No idea.
Oh, good lords.
No.
I don't know where he went, but recently, Archon the Cruel took a little field trip. And when he came back, he had almost destroyed himself by placing the hand of Vecna Vecna himself. On his own appendage. This one, not the other one.
Do I know who this is?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Vecna is a hugely well-known evil god.
Not demigod.
We need a better plan.
It's like he was like the most powerful lich. And turned god.
Out of kid, Vecna's been in like every edition super important. Like God of Vengeance, gotta be in
He's one of
really evil dude.
one of Gygax's originals. Yeah. I believe.
We're going to need a better plan. And I look at the boys.
I mean,
yes.
I've got.
Might
I've
I
got
suggest you start with not trying to kill him?
I mean, it sounds like he's half dead already.
No. He is fighting that. And he is taking good souls to appease the magics of Vecna that are trying to decompose him from the inside out. And Tarina, you feel a shake, a quiver go through Lulu. This consumption of good souls.
Got Pat.
Well, I've got this.
By the way, you'll all appreciate this. I don't think it's going to spoil anything or come up in our particular iteration of things. The book suggests if you want to treaty with Arkan and he needs these good souls to kill for the arm to appease the arm, it suggests that you give him moon color.
No.
It has it as an option.
I think it's a fantastic option.
Shush you. You know nothing, Dragonborn.
Normal Fireman would have also suggested it be.
Shush you, you don't know. You don't know how you were before you didn't know anything that you know now that you didn't know previously. You don't know.
Arkan the Cruel himself was involved in cutting a stake or two off the side of Mooncolor in the launch event for this very book. Because
Oh my god.
they were cooking dinner for the romantic tryst that happened between Raga Draga and Mad Maggie, which is the love affair that went south and is the reason that Mad Maggie hates him in this game. Because
That's hysterical.
yes. And now you think about it, Tarina, Mooncolor did have a slight limp.
Well, I've got this. So,
Say
what
again?
does he have? I said, well, I've got this, and he holds up the orb of dragon kind.
Oh. And she spins to you, Tarina, and she's like, "No. I know I said this critter wasn't for sale, but I may have spoken too hastily. Give me that, and you can have whatever you want. Take the whole damn place."
No.
I don't think he'll give it to you.
It's not mine to trade, but I'd do it.
Curses. You're as tough as Asmodeus's nipples. Which I'll only say within these 4 words. So the Cambians is like, huh? Looks around. Did you say about my great grandpa? Okay.
What else do
I'm,
we
I'm
know?
descended from Asmodeus in a direct line.
Yeah,
It's really far.
every Cambion douchebag says that.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Whoa.
Nope, but I know who I'm stabbing. Okay, so anyway, sorry. Excuse me. We digress. She's like, how did you get your hands on something so precious and so rare? You are clearly mighty adventurous. I suppose it is to expect it. Those who have been meddled with by the architect himself.
Well, there you go. I've got this. We're gonna fuck with Archon. There's a demon lord around.
Ah, that never gets old.
Have we got a rumor yet?
A demon lord around? What do you mean a demon lord around?
The Kachichichi.
Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, this explains it. This is the piece of the puzzle I was missing. Around is not the word. Well, I suppose he was spread out over a fairly wide area. When you released that particular demon lord, I think he wanted his hammer back. He made a beeline straight for Zariel. And
That is correct.
had his little demon tush handed to him royally. Oh!
Well, there you go.
Why did you
Well-
free him? Are you abyssal sympathizers? I'm not judging, I'm just asking.
Goodness, no.
Ah, why not? A little bit of chaos from time to time is fun. Braun?
They said
Woo!
somebody needed a distraction,
A distraction.
right? Isn't that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was it that needed a distraction? I can't keep this story straight.
Horvin, she just reaches back to you with that pouch of gold you gave her, and she just gives it back to you. She's like, yes, yes.
Olanthius.
And she goes hush whispers like, this is more delicious. This is more delicious than Braun's finest bulk up, Braun's finest day starter, Braun's finest crunch time.
I'm gonna
Hells,
link back to
this
see
is
if
more
he-
delicious than Braun's cheat meal. I'm sorry.
I feel like
it's the
we
wrong
just got the dish because we
Sorry.
found out about Brahm's cheat meal.
Oh, it's the wrong time of the week, but if you're here on cheat day, oof.
What else do we have? Oh, you know the vampire who betrayed Zariel on the hill? He's dust.
Let me think.
And a liar.
Oh,
Not a liar.
yes. There was a vampire who came through with the Hell Riders, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to him?
We tried to take him off of a big spiky tree and he turned to dust.
Surely-
Didn't you say that was the same hill that Lincoln got stabbed on?
Yeah.
Saruman's Hill.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just about to say I died. Thanks for taking that away from me, Firemore.
Oh, damn. That was very appropriate, John. Yes,
I'm
he
saying, I
died.
said it under my breath before the Firemore said it. And he's like, you must have friends in high places. Tell me, my friend, my little faux-hawked buddy, you have a trace of the celestial about you, do you not?
Yeah, what about it?
That's like, who wants to
Who's doing it? Who's Lincoln?
Yeah, so what? It's like, but also a fiendish brew.
And
Yes.
I think it's yes. So what? Yeah, that's the Lincoln response.
No, I'm just noticing things. It's the most interesting group. An orb of dragonkind, a half celestial, half fiend. 2 humble folk.
Look, did you see what she did?
I'm so sorry, I was reading.
I swear to God. And I put my hedge paws in my lap very angrily.
Well, please, do go on. Do not make me stem this tide of information. So the vampire was taken off the tree. That must have earned the ire of Haruman himself, no?
Yes, it did.
Ah, hence the death of the sparkly one. Yes, okay.
Yes.
I see. And, what happens to that vampire?
What happened? He dissolved, right?
Yeah, he was dust. He sighed and he was dust.
But wrong answer. I know something you don't know.
Well, he signed a contract, so if he's around, he better be doing some stuff.
That's true. And I hold up the paper.
I mean, from what you
Very
told me,
clever.
it sounds like he blipped out of existence.
Let me, I should check the name of something.
Thinking back on it, isn't turning into mist a thing that vampires can do?
Yes.
Damn it! He ghosted us.
How did none of us think of this till
No,
this point?
he signed. He has to do the stuff we said he had to do. That was so long ago, I don't remember what we said he had to do. But he has to do those things.
Don't worry. He is no longer in Avernus.
Oh,
He...
it's a good or a bad thing.
Let me give a little, rather than just getting all of this delicious information. He was granted a visit by Poena herself. Are you aware of Poena?
Is
Are we
Orvin aware?
Give me a Arcana check.
I do not know Poena.
15?
Fairmont get lucky? No.
Was it with an advantage?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh,
Yes, it was.
You said 15?
Yes.
Okay. You've heard the name, and you know that she is an archdevil, and she is a champion of those seeking revenge.
His revenge might work to help us out. He might fulfill the contract anyway.
And just for you guys, let me show you. I'll just show you this. You haven't seen this, and you don't remember what she looks like, but I just want to show you this art because it's freaking cool. Go away, guy.
That's
pretty good.
Whoa.
The Archdevil Poena.
Poetic justice. Poetic justice.
And she is known, yes, to visit those who want revenge. So that's all you can remember, I'm afraid. Now, Margrin smiles to herself. Yes. Your little vampire friend was visited by Poena herself and escorted away in search of the one that killed him and sent him down here in the first place. Say again?
I said, damn it.
Oh, don't worry. He's very far away. And if my understanding is correct, has no way to get back. At least he should be happy there, with his own kind.
I've connected dots.
I saw the face.
Yeah.
Let's leave that for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So. She seems quite sated. She's like, my friends, a wealth of information. And so many sparkly goodies. No, don't worry. I shall not steal anything from you. She's saying this to you, Firemore, as the Orber Dragon kind. This is a legitimate safe haven in the Hells. That's why I charge a premium. That's why I have my little guardians running around underneath that big gif's dumb command. He's very efficient. Again, like almost like as if he was calling it. You heard clump, clump, clump. Still nothing to report. Tip top. Clump, clump, clump. Like clockwork. He says he prefers this form of transport. He likes not having to patrol beneath decks, shall we say.
Yeah,
I can
it's
understand
dark.
that.
Up in the Phlogiston, where the ships of these Gif and the others all go around flying, everything has a central axis point for its field of gravity. So you can walk on the top deck, or you can swoop around that axis of gravity and walk on the bottom of the ship as well, upside down, equally easily.
Oh my god.
So yes, sorry, just a little player inside there. Spelljammer. Okay. So, yes. So, bed on board is yours for tonight.
Yes, we are useful. And I run into my bedroom.
Firemaw will find and grab a book on the Dragon Queen
Sure.
and go to bed.
Okay.
He misses Altus in his heart, even if he doesn't know it.
That is not why he's reading it. However, you can believe that.
I know what's in your heart. Don't worry. I feel it.
The
The ship.
the Cambion and the Night Hag seem to have reached some sort of agreement, and they leave separately. The Night Hag staying behind for one more whiskey before she goes. She drops her scrying eye in it by mistake, pops out of her eye socket, and she's like, oh, and sticks it back in. It's clean.
Cleaner than it was before.
It seems the Fey-looking individual is also staying because they go off into one of the side rooms. And Horvin, you immediately get the desire to rush to your room as quickly as possible as you see this Fey creature open the door to theirs, and you see the bedrooms are crammed with more books than this room itself. Like every nook and cranny of the walls of those small bedrooms is absolutely just bulging with books.
My God.
um,
Yeah, I will do that.
Let me grab something here. Let's double check here. Yeah, hundreds of books about the Nine Hells, the Prime Material Plane, the Abyss, and Mechanus are all stored in the small sleeping quarters inside the war machine, and they can be checked out for a fee. There are multiple copies of each. No book can leave the war machine. Yeah, and then the librarians will swing by at some point. So, are you just going to bed down for the night?
Bed.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Okay. So yeah.
I'm highly interested in anything that has to do with like the current plane and like the hierarchy of the demon lords and dragons.
Okay. Do you have any particular questions?
I mostly looking for like weaknesses. Like I'm trying to illustrate some sort of chart of like who answers to who. And what else? More information on like the creatures here in Avernus.
Okay. I think you pick up a few bits and bobs. I think it's difficult. I think the majority of that you already knew from Candle Keep, which is like the main source of all this knowledge. But you do get a couple of extra bits and bobs there.
I sleep.
Good night. Yes, I mean. Okay, so you can all take the benefits of a long rest.
We did it, guys.
As you
We
have
did it.
a wonderful night's sleep in these very well appointed rooms. Let's see if I get a better description of what we're dealing with here. Yep, so there's these. There are these 12 small square rooms that are extremely well appointed for guests to sleep in. Each room has a single large bed made with plush down-stuffed pillows and a linen mattress. Beneath the bed is a secure lockbox with a padlock and key. And then on the walls and ceiling of the small room are shelves, hollows, and crannies filled with trinkets, lamps, and various books on spellcasting, information on the Nine Hells, etc. Okay. I think, Tarina, if you'll allow, Lulu will come and nestle on the end of your bed.
Yes, good. Cuddle me, small elephant that flies.
She's like, just as she's kind of, you're both like 80% asleep, just drowsing off. She just kind of mutters in the dark. Do you think I'll ever be as big as Critter?
If you woke up, and I go to sleep.
Just from the direction of the kitchen, you hear a faint "woo."
That's creepy. Don't listen in my room.
No, they're just enjoying the challenge of washing up.
I see. What a challenge it is.
Okay, so you are all spending the night?
Yeah.
Now, as you bed down, you find yourselves all tucked up in these lovely, comfy beds. Full stomachs. Uncomfortably so, almost. And just sleep immediately takes you. Horvin.
Yes.
You dream of an endless library. And you're just skipping through the shelves as books and pamphlets and tomes and grimoires flutter about you, their pages open wide like butterflies on a summer's day. You dip into a book here, peruse a pamphlet there, look through the index of this for any interesting tidbits over there. And your evening passes most pleasantly. Tarina,
No.
you see the village. The dunes stretching up in the silvery moonlight behind it. A full moon in the sky, shining down on the oasis in the still waters, surrounded by the shadows and silhouettes of the arching date palms up over the cool waters, as the insects lazily sing the lullaby for your sleeping village. You and your sister come back in from a long day's adventures, and you come down and you see the lights of the village glowing warmly through the small adobe walls, the square openings, orange like the carvings of a jack-o'-lantern almost. You weave through the streets, pausing to scritch a little alley cat that's wandering by, and make your way back down the familiar roads of packed earth and dusty sand until you see your house. Yours and Lithia's house there. The door open in the warmth of the summer, letting that cool night air in to remove some of the stuffiness of the day. And you know, yeah?
You gotta change that air because of Corona.
And you, I think your village dealt with something much worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talona, even worse.
Talona brought Corona. Alright, I'm done now. I'm sorry.
No worries. And you and Lithia just holding hands, chatting about all the stuff that had gone on during the day and how you had definitely won that race, not her. Stumble through the door. And your mother's there. Her spine's shaking to and fro as she busies herself cooking dinner. Your father helping out as well. They turn at the sound of you arriving. A smile breaks across their faces as their two girls are back home. They come and start walking towards you. And then your mother, your father, and your hand suddenly goes light as the other hand, Lithia's hand gripped in its grasp, disappears. As the three of them disappear in smoke and in a whirl of dust and air. No. They're real. They've always been real. And you hear a voice. Yes. Humblewood's real. The humble folk are real. I put you here. It comes from outside, and you rush back out through the door, and you look up to the sky. There's just something in the sky, something in the way the stars are just arranged. It's not the normal constellations you're used to. There's almost a face, just too giant to comprehend, just stretching across the night sky. Spectacles. A tuft of spiky hair. I put you here. And you blink and shake your head, and as you look again, the stars are back where they should be. The regular constellations.
Rena's gonna mutter to herself, "Good afternoon, good evening, and good night." Pop culture session.
Thanks, Jim. Now, final. Your dreamscape is lit by the deep red glow of the dragon orb, pulsing brighter and brighter, and with a flash you catch a glimpse of those red coils bound around you, surrounding you, almost suppressing you. Everything that you had become, everything that you had worked for. But then you shake. No. This is gonna happen now. This is my time. I'm gonna find this Arkan punk. I'm gonna find Avernus. What do you say to yourself? What's your feeling on Avernus?
I mean, I have this image in my head. That the dragon is coiling around Firemaw, and his thoughts really aren't his own, as the dragon is kind of also lurching over the back of him and just whispering over and over, and his into his head. Kurose. 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 Over and over and over. So that's what Fire Moth thinks.
Okay. You hear a small chirping sound, like that of a small bird. And there's a flash of yellow. And it spins around you. You think, ah, that stupid elephant. But it's much smaller. It can't be Lulu. And you follow it and pan around, tracing its movement, and you get a proper glimpse of it as it comes closer to the illumination from the orb of dragonkind. It's a small yellow bird. Flying around you, circling around you. A canary. And you hear a female voice. I'm not working down any mine, but it's always good to have a warning system. Protection, if you will, in order. You see Bernie walking through the darkness towards you once more. How are you doing, Firemore? Hanging in there?
As well as I can.
Do you need help? Bahamut does not judge the color of your scales, which is more than your queen ever would. I don't fancy my chances of being welcomed into her tender embrace.
Firemaw looks at Bernie for a moment. It's too late.
Ever. The choice is yours, Firemore. And I hope this little canary doesn't find anything to be alarmed about. And she whistles for it and holds up her hand, and the canary just goes and alights on her finger. And she tickles its chest.
What do you need?
Wrong way round, Firemore. What do you need? We're here for you, aren't we?
The orb of dragonkind is sitting kind of on a necklace that he's kind of keeping it close, and he looks down at it. And looks back up. I'm stuck. I'm stuck here. I need out.
What's the magic word?
Help. Please.
Second time's the charm. And she reaches up, and the canary flies off her finger and circles around. And where you can still see the lingering afterglow of those red coils, those scales wrapped tight around Firemore. A golden light trails from where the canary's flying round and round and round, suffusing the vision in this glow. And that golden light seems to drown out and wash away the essence of red that was there. And the orb of Dragonkind's hold over you, and the effects it was having on you, both good and bad, feel to be tugged, washed away, as a cleansing breeze just blows through. Welcome back, Firewall. We're watching. She turns, her long, dark curls bouncing off her shoulders. And she starts to walk away as the canary flutters off after her. And then, from your periphery, other canaries fly down. And she just has her arms up, and they just alight. Like fucking Snow White's on her arms. And she goes, no. Sorry. And she just paces off into the darkness, and these little glows of yellow gold lights is the afterglow of these canaries, is the last thing you see before it goes to black.
I wonder how long it's going to take us to realize that Firemaw's back now that I've told him everything that's gone on. It's going to be like, oh, well, I told you that.
It should be pretty obvious.
Yeah, hopefully. Should be a nice welcome back present for Lincoln.
Yes!
Now, let us leave Avernus with one more vision. Not one of yours, but one I thought you might like to see. We need to go back a little ways. A hilltop. A hilltop that sprouts metallic barbed trees. At the crest of this hill, a desperate battle is unfolding as a group of plucky adventurers desperately tries to hold off the attacks of one of Zariel's commanders. As we see from the outside, Haruman battling against the pits. But that's not what we're here to see. A mist from up by the largest tree coalesces into the ghostly ethereal form of Janda Sunstar, the vampire Tarina had pulled off the tree and triggered the battle with Haruman. You want revenge, don't you? And Janda turns from the battle and looks up in the sky above the hill, where we see the Archdevil. Her swaddling bandages and robes fluttering in an unfelt wind. I can help you. There is one you want revenge against. And he's like, yes. Yes, there is. And she says, name him. Name him. Janda Sunstar says, the Monster Hunter, the Vampire Slayer. I am Maris. And the Archdevil smiles. Yes. Go to him. Have your revenge. And she reaches out, and Janda Sunstar's ethereal form is pulled. Whoosh! And the scene goes paler, grayer, whiter, as thick mist rolls in. And Janda Sunstar's form pushes through, his hunger, his desire for revenge fueling him. And this mist starts to dissipate again on a much colder, gloomier scene. And we see snow-capped mountains flanking a valley. And across the valley, a large pillar stone rising up above a huddled village. And on top of that pillar stone, a large castle. We shall stop there. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that was
Excuse my cross-campaign shenanigans.
wild.
Very proud I was there
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah, I saw you got it straight away. Okay, good stuff, guys. That was oof. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
that's going to take a bit more closer watch on the rewatch of that one. Like today's one, I got to skip the whole battle part, just skip the fight because I knew what happened there. that was
And
all sorts of goodies. Okay, so yes.
Well, for most of it, you had blank slate Fire Maw.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now we've
Yes.
got real Fire Maw back.
Yes, that is basically the equivalent of a greater restoration spell. And you
Wow.
are returned to your former self.
We should have asked her about Altus. No! Canary Lady.
Fire Maw was not going to ask for any more favors than he already did.
Yeah, that's fair.
He already feels weird enough about getting help from Bahamut. Something he's got to work through.
Indeed.
Character
Very-
development.
Right. So yeah, that's really good stuff from everyone. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I did the inn justice. I was gonna have you hanging out with Blerio and stuff by the pit of Sarlachius, and then like it was as lessons had started, I'd be like, I was like, oh no, I've got that really cool inns and tap rooms in hell thing. I want to use one of those. And so I was like,
That was
every 10-minute gap between classes, I was like, read. quickly read through this.
Gather nuggets of wisdom.
Okay. Oh,
Well,
I'm excited to see where this goes and have our bard back with us. I hope.
me too.
Yes.
Was a good bring back from our 2-week hiatus.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And yeah, I shall see you, Josh, on Tuesday for Icewind Dale. Arrive at
Our
the Frost
adventures
Maiden, which
In the Frozen North.
left you with a very nasty cliffhanger last time. The speaker is dead. Dun, dun, dun.
Watch on Twitch.
That was so satisfying. Everyone was just like, "No, don't stop there." I was like, "Yes." And then you two. Speaking of snow-capped mountains, valleys, and
A castle on a hill.
Creepy
pillar
castles.
stones, creepy castles, I will
Uh-huh.
see you in Barovia on Thursday with one more vampire to deal with.
No, shoe.
I wish I didn't so badly want to play Strahd that
Yeah.
I could watch your stream.
Yes, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh,
However, I
Yeah.
very badly want to play the game, so
My-
I can't spoil it for myself.
Michael can sympathise with you there because he wants to watch all the official playthroughs, like the ones of the different modules. He's like, no, but John's probably going to run this one time, and I don't want to. I don't want to know the story. Okay. Meanwhile, all the new ALTs coming through in January and stuff have started popping up online. I was like, oh, which of you plays D&D? Come to your key. Although we're online now, everything's online now, so it doesn't really matter where they are.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He says having come out of his Eberron game with players in England and Vietnam. So, anywho.
Are we?
Not yet, sorry, no, I was still just chattering away. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for coming by.
Okay.
thank you. Goodbye.
See ya.
Goodbye, Twitch people.